What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Lokiwider. Castle levels of 27. Validated on a mage. So let's take a look at what he's got. Level 27 will be slightly easier than a level 28 castle, obviously, but because he's, in between, he's basically a level 26 castle. Like, if someone's on an odd number, you can just round down. He's basically a level 26 castle for all purposes other than having slightly more defense points, but that's not that big of a deal. It's really being able to change out your creatures for a higher level one. That's the main thing. And I would say level 28 is a pretty big upgrade because you get Snare Masters, you get a Spike Trap upgrade, you get Ballista Trap upgrades, I think. So you get a lot of these upgrades. Level 26, you do get Zeke upgrades, and Archer upgrades, so that's what I was kind of expecting here. You should really try to use the majority of your mobs that have recently been upgraded, which is why I'm not super excited for a level 30 upgrade, because I don't really like those like level monsters, like Archers and Defendatrons. They're okay, but I like Stairmasters and stuff like that a lot better, because they hit more often. It's easier for me to say, okay, these are going to do X amounts of damage to a hero, to like an attacker, so I kind of know what I need to be able to kill someone off. I know how much sustained damage I need. This is always a harder room. Pete Poundmores as well are an upgrade that you get at this level, at level 28 rather. So this guy was only level 24. That's why he went down so quickly, because he's in between getting that upgrade. He's one level off of it, so they're 3 levels down from what they should be. Mega Buttons are a little scary. They are another upgrade that you get at 26. I mean, they can be scary. They're not super scary, but when you do get knocked down around a bunch of traps and stuff, you do take a lot of damage because you'll be stunned for a certain amount of time. I actually ended up dying to that. I got hit by a bunch of Zeke shots. I was too busy worrying about the Cyclops that I thought was going to charge into me. And this was the end of the castle, so I almost made it through without dying. Yeah, I got here and I was like, why isn't the Cyclops charging me? Because he ran away because of the fire mines. So if you put the Cyclops a little farther away from the attacker, he'll be able to actually charge in. But if he's standing inside of the fire mines already, he'll back away before he charges, which is what happened there. But yeah, I ended up dying. Pretty good castle, obviously, because it killed me. Not much else to say about it. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have WRB 0010. Castle levels of 29, validated on a knight here. 5,000 hit points. This could be one of those castles where it's difficult for me to make it through just because I have such low hit points, and I'll have to be potting a lot more than a knight would have to, depending on like how many traps they have, really. But let's jump into it and take a look at what he's got. It's level 29, but for most purposes it's just going to be a level 28 castle with a little bit more in it, like a few more defense points. But it shouldn't be too crazily difficult for me to get through this. I guess I should check over here for a mine. Yeah, I figured there would be one over here. Alright. And I took a tick of damage for no reason. So only level 24 Cyclops. I almost wish it was on charge, so it would have pushed me back onto the spikes instead of what it was on. But either way, I mean, it's mostly the IMAX that's the difficult part of this. I'm not sure which way the castle goes because it goes 2 different directions with spike traps. So I'm gonna go up here first, I guess. All right, this is just the end. So this is kind of like a waste of a couple points, but nothing too crazy. It's only a waste of like 6 points. If someone doesn't go that direction, so nothing crazy. So I'm gonna pull this and try to get it kind of on top of the spike traps here. Also, like, there was a Defendatron, I'm pretty sure, and I think I can get this Pete Polymore to leave the Defendatron if I kite it back a little bit. So that was the goal there. Generally, Defendatrons just screw themselves up when you start kiting things away, because they don't follow close enough. They're too slow. Alright, use my first potion. Same thing, I'm gonna kite it back. This is what you should do in spike trap rooms if you can. It makes it a lot easier. As long as you're not worried about the time. If you're worried about hitting the time, then you probably should just try to run through an entire castle by yourself. Like, just run past it and try to find a safer area to fight in. So I could probably assume that there's not going to be anything up there, but I want to know if there's a mine up there or not, so I'm going to go up there anyway. There's also a ballista trap up here, so we're not sure. Alright, so there wasn't anything up here. So again, kite things back. As long as you don't have to go over a lot of spike traps to actually kite it back, it's usually a correct option to do that. Because now I can stand over here and I don't have to worry about that Pete Polymore. You know, he didn't hardly hit me at all. If I had tried to fight him in this small area, he would have hit me at least once, which is basically like 2 ticks of spike trap damage anyway. So same thing here, you can actually, I think, headshot over there, and it should aggro if there's a group of creatures over there. I'm not sure. It might be right outside the range of headshot. Or if they're back behind the wall like this. Then they won't get hit, obviously. So again, I'm assuming that this way doesn't actually have anything, but since it's viewer castles, I will check it. If I was doing this castle by myself, I probably would just say, okay, I'm not going to worry about the mines, I'm just going to go forward. If I miss mines because I don't, you know, explore the entire thing, that's fine, I'll take 1 or 2 stars. So yeah, again, I could have saved, you know, 30 or so defense points if I had just skipped these little tunnels here. It does start to add up after a while. So if your castle seems to not be killing people, it might be because of that, you know, if you need just a little bit more sustained damage to kill people. But it's really not like a huge deal. I'm not sure which way I actually have to go on here. Okay, so this was the wrong way again. Because a lot of the times, if you just take your time, you won't take damage from spike traps. As long as there's no ballistas or mobs to stop you from like just standing here and walking.
Time for a tactical retreat.
And that's why you kite things, because the Pete Polymore pretty much just killed himself with my volley and then the spike traps. Alright, so there's only 3 springboard traps, so you can just kind of roll across them, and it's not that big of a deal. There has to be at least 4 for it to really matter. But even then, when there's no jelly wall in front, it's not going to matter too much. Also, I mean, what are they really going to do? The whole purpose, I think, is just to throw you back onto the spike traps or something, because there's nothing forward in the castle. But, yep, that's the end of the castle. I did have to use 3 potions on it, so it had a decent amount of sustained damage, but I would say just like take a look. Maybe you don't want to have those areas where like if you go that way, if you don't go that way, then there's no real point. Like you could put mines there, or you could just take those spike traps out that aren't really needed. Maybe add in a couple more ballistas or something to just put extra pressure when they're going over those spike traps to take a little bit more damage. But yeah, I mean, if you don't kite things backwards, I could see this killing people through sustained damage, because those two Pete Poundmores that didn't actually hit me at all would have probably used up this last potion, so I would have been in a rough spot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Phoku. Castle level is a 30, probably validated on this archer. Definitely a high health archer, in average DPS as well. Like I would like his gear. His gear is pretty good. This would be where I'd like to be at with my gear. With a level 30 castle, it's going to be a little difficult, but I should be able to get through it. We'll see. I'll try again to play safe and to actually get through it without dying. That's what I usually do with level 30 castles, because they're fairly difficult. Lots of ballista traps here. A ton of them, really. And there's springboard traps to try to make you get thrown, and then as you're thrown, you're going to get hit by all of these ballistas. That's at least the goal, I'm guessing. What is this into? Okay. Well, because of that... okay, so it's just going to be an everything in the boss room castle. So I actually think I want to kite this outside, if I can. This is going to be one of the harder things for me to do. Especially with all these silence traps and stuff, I definitely want to get outside of this if I can. Alright, so there. I managed to get out of this. Now I'm just going to get in this area where there's nothing pressuring me, and try to kill things as they come out. That's the best option right now. Alright, use one more potion. And I should be able to kill off a lot of this as I'm kiting. At least that's the hope. Oh god, that's gonna hurt. But if I get hit by, like, you know, too many things, I can still die here. And I ran out of room to kite. But this is a bigger area to fight in than the end of the boss room. So I'll kite back out this way, and wait until I start hitting ballista pressure, and then I'll try to like juke around them again. There is a Dr. Skull in there somewhere I have to deal with eventually, but I'm actually not that scared of the Dr. Skull as much as like the Zeeks right now. If I can get rid of all of the Defendatrons, I should be able to volley down the Zeeks. Alright, that killed off. That killed off one of the IMAXs. I only have 3 Zeeks left. I should be able to make it through this castle, unless I take a bad Zeke shot. That's all that can kill me right now. Alright, so I think I made it through. That was pretty difficult, but because there's nothing like in between the entry room, like this is a little scary, but it's not as scary as fighting that inside of the room with all of the trap pressure. So I would say like the best thing for this type of a scenario to work is to put it in like a spike hallway in between you and the entrance, in between like the boss room and the entrance, because that's the only thing that really stops people from going forward. I need to sell stuff off so I have inventory space, and then you can use this to get yourself a little bit of what do you call it? Stun immunity. That's what I was looking for. You can use the springboard traps out there to get some stun immunity. You take a little bit of damage, but you guarantee not dying to the fire mine traps. Alright. Good time on this castle, though. That would be difficult to beat. You wouldn't be able to beat that if you went back towards the entrance, I'm guessing. With my archer having such low life, it's difficult for me to actually stand in like an area where I'm silenced. If I get silenced, I can die almost instantly, because if I can't like use my escapes, I have to be able to get away from things. It's the only way for me to stay alive with low hit points. Anyway, this is number 3, not the last one. So we're going to end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoyed what I do, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of Hero Castles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. Taking level 20 and above castles. And you have to add me to your friends list so that you can actually have me attack your castle. But that is pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.